So it's pretty clear that Wayne Gretzky, he's the GOAT among GOATs. Out of all the greatest players of all time in every single league, Wayne Gretzky's at the top of that list. This man was absolutely unstoppable, leads the NHL in goals, leads the NHL in assists, leads the NHL in points all time, and probably 9 million other records. And since Wayne Gretzky is such an unstoppable player, we're going to see if we can win him a Stanley Cup. With a team of 0 overall players, I know it says these guys have 36 overall ratings, but they're actually 0 overalls. 36 is as low as it can go, and all we have is Wayne Gretzky here. Just a team of 36 overalls and Wayne Gretzky. Not a single player on this team outside of Wayne Gretzky is going to do anything positive for this franchise. And to make it even harder, all of these 36 overall players, they're locked down to 3-year deals. So even when we bring in new NHL players, we're still going to have to pay these guys for the next 3 years. So Wayne Gretzky, the GOAT of all GOATs, it's time for us to win you one more Stanley Cup here and turn this team into Stanley Cup champs. Also, while the season simulates here and we lose absolutely every single game, here's how many subscribers the Detroit Red Wings have. Now here's how many subscribers I have. We're catching up to the Detroit Red Wings, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay, no, I don't even think we've scored a goal yet. This is going to be a very difficult rebuild. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I'm not overly surprised that this happened right here. Sometimes when I do 0 overall rebuilds, once you get up to the trade deadline, this game completely crashes, and unfortunately, that's what's going to be happening here. I can't get past February 26th. No matter what I do, we always get stuck here. So I'm going to have to add some 50 overall players to this team, boost our team overall a bit, and then I'll be able to complete this rebuild. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a true 0 overall rebuild, but unless I do that, we're just going to be sitting at this screen for the next 3 hours. Alright, so I went ahead and added some 50 overall players to the team, and now we can't even get through January. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so here's the stats of every single player on our team. We only recorded stats for 6 guys. The rest of this team doing absolutely nothing out there. Wayne Gretzky, 35 goals, 15 assists for 50 points. We have a washed GOAT. This man is not who he used to be, but don't worry, we're going to rebuild him back up. And the goaltending numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even show up. Yeah, this team was so bad, it didn't even record the goaltending numbers. That's how bad they were. Yeah, this team's cooked. But there is one thing we can look forward to, and that's not Vancouver losing in the Stanley Cup final. Already knew that was going to happen, but it's the fact that we should get the first overall pick. We were 0-82. If you don't give it to us, then that's just disrespectful. I feel like it should be a rule if you go 0-82, you just have to get the first overall pick because you went 0-82. There's no team worse than us. We dropped to 3. That's fantastic. All right. So we're not getting the first overall pick and we're not getting the second overall pick. We're going to be getting the third. That's just tough. All right, so really we have 2 choices here, Berkeley Catton or Caden Lindstrom. And I'm going to go with Lindstrom strictly because he is a power forward. And I feel like putting a power forward alongside Wayne Gretzky is actually a smart move than another playmaker. So Caden Lindstrom, welcome to the team. We're selecting you 3rd overall. And there's a very high chance you making it to the lineup next season because there's one rule I haven't mentioned yet. All right, so as we learned a couple videos ago, trading for players that have top 6 potential and high overalls, definitely worth the move. Now, Tiga Ginla, he's a 70 overall. It's going to take him a couple years to develop, but he was just drafted 5th overall, 4th or 5th overall. It was 5th. I'm going to trade a 2nd round pick in the 100th overall in order to get Tiga Ginla. I'm going to send that over to the Blackhawks. They're accepting immediately. Yeah, he's going to jump into the lineup in a couple years. Maybe even next season, depending on how this team looks. All right, so Kivi Haru, he was another top pick in this draft. I think he was 10th overall or 11th. He was 10th overall. Okay, that was actually a complete guess, so I'm actually happy I got that right. The 34th overall sent over to the San Jose Sharks for Kivi Haru, a 3rd round pick, which is going to be the 76th overall and a future 3rd round pick. I don't think I'm going to be getting all of these right here. I'll take out the 76th overall, and I think we'll be able to get this deal done right here. Unfortunately not. I do want to get a 4th rounder or something back in this deal though. So maybe we can secure 2 4th rounders. I don't think we're going to be able to, but if we can get one, then that's definitely a massive deal for us. I'm going to take a 4th rounder for next season. They're saying no, but we're just a bit low, so I'll throw a 7th rounder in this deal and we'll get it to happen. So here we go, a 7th rounder, the 34th overall for Kivi Haru and a future 4th round pick. We got another good defenseman for this team. I don't know why I said another good defenseman. The first defenseman for this team, because right now we have nobody. And we're not done with the trades yet because a 3rd rounder and a 5th rounder is being sent over to the St. Louis Blues, and we're going to be picking up this 72 overall defenseman, but a 3rd rounder, 5th rounder, that's all it's going to cost here. I guess it's going to cost a bit more than that, so I'll throw this 6th rounder in the deal, and then all of this should be enough to get Zane. I'm going to send it over to the St. Louis Blues. We got another deal done. We acquired a ton of young players in this draft, and that's exactly what we need. So after trading away all the picks we did, this is what we're walking away with. 1 medium elite potential player, 1 player with high top 6, and then 2 other guys with medium top 4. I would definitely call that a successful draft considering all of these guys are above 70 overall. And then what we're going to do is sign all of these guys to play on the team next season, and the reason we're doing that, here's the rule that I haven't mentioned yet. We're only allowed 3 free agent signings. So I just can't go out and fill this roster up with a bunch of 80 overall players. Nope. We have to basically do this completely through the draft here. we're allowed 3 free agent signings. Who those free agents are, I'm not too sure yet, but more than likely they're going to be a bunch of stick on the ice legends. So it's time to start off with stick on the ice legend Gustav Forsling. He's always a fantastic player, and we're doing 5.4 for the next 5 years. Ideally, we're winning a Stanley Cup in these next 5 years. Is that going to be possible? I have no clue, but that's the plan at least. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of stick on the ice legends that I cannot find right now. I was looking for Novak, I was looking for Max Domi, Bertuzzi from time to time, but none of these guys are here, so we're actually going to have to change things up a bit. I mean, Barabanov, he is a stick on the ice legend, but I'm not giving him 7.7 million. A guy like Teravainen, though, I think we could find a deal that would make sense for him. Although he is a playmaker and he would be playing alongside another playmaker in Wayne Gretzky, I feel like this move just makes sense. So for the next 5 years, I'm going to give you 5.9 million. And to finish off all the moves here, honestly, I'm looking at a guy like Vladimir Tarasenko on potentially a 1-year deal. We sign him for this season, then trade him at the trade deadline. I think that's actually the move, and if he's playing alongside Wayne Gretzky, he's going to be putting up some crazy numbers, so I'll give you $7 million for 1 season. Those are going to be the 3 free agent signings we make, and that means we're going to be rocking a 36 overall goaltender. I kind of regret those trades now. I kind of regret those signings now. However, I could trade for a goaltender. That's probably what we're actually going to do here. And which player are we going to be trading for here? 2 4th rounders over to the Carolina Hurricanes for Kochetkov. I'm not going to lie, for a guy who has medium league potential at only 25 years old, his trade value should be a bit higher than 2 4th round picks. I probably could have got him for a 4th and a 7th, but even still, I just feel like 2 4th rounders, you got to increase his trade value a little bit. So the one thing we have to understand here is it's all about trusting the process. Gretzky, Tarasenko, Lidstrom, Teravainen, Tika Ginla, the rest of this forward core is absolutely cooked. And the defense, it's not good whatsoever. We do have Forsling leading the way here at an 85 overall, so I guess that's not too bad. And we also have this young rookie here. I sent Kivi Hardy down to juniors or the AHL. I'm not really sure where he's going to be playing. All I know is that's a better situation for him, because if not, he's going to be playing alongside a 36 overall player, and that's definitely not the move. Goaltending wise, we got 84 overall Kochetkov. He's going to be the guy for us. Well, he's going to be the guy for now. I'm not really sure what he's going to develop into, seeing as he has no defense in front of him, so I guess we're about to find out. So guys, I think we can officially celebrate here. We lost in overtime. Who'd we lose in overtime to? Of course, the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're going to record 1 point this season, and that point's against the Columbus Blue Jackets. This team beat us 2-1. How y'all didn't light the lamp against us, I have absolutely no clue. Even here, this game was way too close, 2-0, and one of them was probably an empty netter. The New Jersey Devils beat us 11-1, the Vegas Golden Knights 11-1, Tampa 8-2, the Kings 5-2, and then the Kings here 12-2. Not gonna lie, Columbus, it's not looking too good for you. Now, this is honestly a day we can celebrate. We're at the trade deadline. We beat a team. We beat somebody, I don't recall who it was. We have a 159-1 record. We're scoring over 1 goal per game. We're not gonna talk about the defense, but 1 goal per game, that's progress. Wayne Gretzky, of course, your numbers aren't gonna look good, but you're over a point a game. 66 points in 61 games. It's way more than what I was expecting. Vladimir Tarasenko, 52 points. Teravainen, 42. Forsling, 32. And then the rest of these guys right here, honestly, I'm surprised you picked up more than 1 point. I'm going to be completely honest. Tika Ginla, although you're a 71 overall, I have very low expectations right now. And then obviously with Kochetkov, we're not expecting too much. 1 win with a 902, I'll take it, I guess. I mean, a 902 isn't bad. We're not going to talk about the goals against. But now that we're at the trade deadline, Tarasenko, it's time to ship you out. Okay, so I realized Owen Power's trade value is incredibly low for some reason. 22 years old and 87 overall. Very rarely do I get the chance to trade for a guy like Owen Power. So Tarasenko at 50% retained and 2 third-round picks. I doubt that's going to be enough, but I still have to offer it over. They're going to be saying no. I'm actually willing to throw in next season's 2nd-round pick. I'll take out the 3rd rounder and include the 2nd instead. I think there's actually a chance that we get this done. I'm going to offer it over. They're still saying no. I'll add a 4th rounder, but I'm not really willing to do more than that. So instead of a 4th rounder, I'm actually going to do a 5th. I'm going to offer this over. They're going to be saying no, but a 4th rounder would be enough to get it done. Ain't no way we're about to acquire Owen Power. That is massive for this team. Okay, the 4th rounder is not enough, but that's perfectly fine. Here is a 7th round pick for the year 2026. We don't have a ton of draft picks to work with, but we do have our 1st rounders for the next 2 years. We really just got Owen Power. That is massive. Now, of course, that's going to be the only trade we do this season, but still, acquiring a guy like Owen Power, that's absolutely wild. So, of course, that's going to be the only trade we make here, but even still, acquiring a guy like Owen Power, no, that's absolutely wild. There's no reason that his trade value should be this low right now. Okay, so I simulated to the end of the season. We didn't win any more games, but I had to check. Who is that one team we beat the Edmonton Oilers. Out of all teams in the NHL, you're telling me this 0 overall team with Wayne Gretzky is beating the Edmonton Oilers. I'm not gonna lie, this is like the most fitting team for us to get our first win against. Wayne Gretzky against the Edmonton Oilers. But you're telling me Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl only scored 3 goals against this team. Kochetkov definitely made like 85 saves. And it should go without saying, this team's absolutely awful. Wayne Gretzky 81 points though, I guess we'll take it. We do have to make some massive moves during the offseason though, and when I say massive moves, I mean trading like 6th and 7th round picks for guys on bad contracts just to bring players to this team. Because 3 free agents a year, it's going to take us a while to rebuild this team. What world are we living in when the Chicago Blackhawks are winning the Stanley Cup in the year 2025? Everything about this video has made no sense so far. Us beating the Edmonton Oilers, Chicago winning in year 2. What's next? Us actually getting the first overall pick and the player having franchise potential? I mean, I wouldn't be against that. Hopefully that's what happens. So all we can do is hope here. Are we going to get the first overall pick and get a franchise potential player? We're getting the first overall pick, that's for sure. But is he going to have franchise potential? That's what we're about to find out. Okay, so there's something that we have to make clear right off the rip here. I'm not 100% sure if this man right here is going to have franchise potential. So with that being said, do we trade our first overall pick away and then ideally get a bunch of assets? Because I think that could be the move. Like if we were to drop to say the 6th overall pick and then secure a guy like Roger McQueen, Cappy, or even Michael Misa, and then we can get a bunch of other assets as well, I think that's what we're going to do. We're trading down. Okay, so we're clearly not getting a package like this, but I thought I'd still offer it over to the Calgary Flames. Ideally, I want to pick up this prospect right here and the 5th round pick. If we can get Pelche, I'll definitely take it. They're going to be saying no. I'll take him out of the deal. I think there is a world in which this deal gets accepted, so I'm going to offer that over. They're saying no. Maybe if we throw some other assets in, maybe a guy like Teuvo Teravainen, that actually could be the move, and then give me Jacob Pelche back. So could a deal like this go through with the Calgary Flames? I'm going to offer that over. They're saying no. Maybe somebody other than Jacob Pelche, who has less trade value but could be good in the future. Give me Connor Zary and give me Matt Coronado. 2 guys that are stick on the ice legends. I'm going to offer that package over. They're saying no. I'll take out Coronado and maybe we can get Connor Zary. They're still going to be saying no here. I mean, I feel like this is even a decent trade right here, but I feel like we're just giving up too much. So maybe give me your 2nd round pick for next season. I'll offer this package over to the Calgary Flames. They're going to be saying no. Can we just do 2 for 2 here? So the 1st round pick in Teravainen over to the Calgary Flames for the 5th overall and this medium elite potential defenseman. That deal's getting accepted. Now we're about to go get another medium elite potential player. Because let's face it, Teravainen, he was not in the plans for the future here. Michael Misa just went number 1. Okay, that trade was actually really good. And oh my god, I hate myself. Okay, so Calgary really screwed up, but we could have got that guy who has franchise potential. I folded so bad. Hold on, let me turn the face cam on. Y'all gotta see my face here. Ain't no way I just screwed that up. We're sending to the 5th overall pick. I can't live with myself right now. Ain't no way I just did that. But we could secure this guy right here who was projected 2nd overall. I do want a defenseman though. We're selecting this defenseman instead. I can't believe I did all that. Okay, he's an 80 overall. That was actually a really good pickup for us. But we could have got a franchise potential player. That is a tough one to process. All right, so these 3 picks in the draft right here, I still haven't got over that fumble where we lost the franchise potential player, but we're going to get a 76 overall here. He has top 6 potential. Yeah, we're just offering this package over. They're saying no. I really haven't got over that. I had the chance of getting a franchise potential player, but nope. We're walking away with a deal like this. I'm absolutely speechless. All right, so now it's time to make some big time moves here because we got to get this team better. Jake DeBrusk, we're doing 3.4 for the next 4 years. I feel like that's a pretty solid contract, and I also think you're going to be here for the full 4 years. You're only 28 years old, so you're going to continue to get better. Ryan Lindgren is also available here. I'm going to try 4.7 for the next 6 seasons. I don't think he's going to accept it, but if he does, that would actually be huge for us. And to finish all the moves off, we're doing Sharon Govich to a 5-year deal at $4.6 million. I could see him playing some top 6 minutes for us. Okay, so Sharon Govich is actually going to be a big L man here, and he's not going to be accepting the contract, but Ryan Lindgren is, so I'll actually take that one. We might have lost on one of those free agents, but we definitely won on Ryan Lindgren. Okay, so this is going to be the biggest risk we probably take today. 10.3 for Brock Besser and 88 overall. Best case scenario, him and Wayne Gretzky have a perfect fit together and he starts picking up 60 goals a season. Is he worth $10 million? Absolutely not. But I think he can turn into a $10 million player. Brock, you're a great player and all, but this right here, this ain't it. This is not the Halifax Pirates logo. This is the Calgary Flames. How could you do that to me? All right, Carver Hagee, maybe we can get you for $9.2 million for the next 7 years. If we can, that honestly might be a bit better than Brock Besser. The odds of us getting you, I think, are very low though, and honestly, bringing you to this team doesn't really make much sense. I'm probably going to have you play on the right side though, because I want Lidstrom, Gretzky, and you, and I feel like you playing on the right wing makes a bit more sense. As long as you accept this contract I just offered you, nope, you're going to the Washington Capitals, okay? We're signing somebody to a 1-year contract. Tyler Toffoli, welcome to the Halifax Pirates. Here's $10 million for next season. I'll retain you at 50% at the trade deadline, then we'll trade you away. Tyler Toffoli at $5 million at the trade deadline. I think there's going to be a lot of teams interested in that. And thankfully, Tyler Toffoli is actually a W Mans here and he accepted the contract. At least somebody did. Okay, this is my biggest pet peeve by far right now when it comes to the head coach preferred lines. Explain to me why my third line is all defensemen. We have all defensemen here. When it comes to our defense, yeah, I don't know what this is. I really don't know what we're doing here. Low key though, our defense is actually really nice. I did want to point that out. Like, this defense right here is nice. So real talk, I'm actually really happy with this team right here. The top 6 has tons of potential. There's no question about that. The bottom 6 is an absolute joke here, but we're not going to worry about that because look at this defense. This is our defense for the rest of the rebuild. All of these guys are going to be sticking around. This defense is absolutely spectacular. The goaltending, Kochetkov, you're up to an 85. You've dropped a star potential though. Honestly, I can actually live with that. You're still an 85 overall. Next season, we're bringing in a backup goaltender. We're going to fill out the bottom 6, and I think we'll compete for a playoff spot. Because when you look at this team, we're really not that bad. The bottom 6 is absolutely abysmal, but this top 6, it could definitely be a lot worse. But why am I gassing it up? 77 overall, 75, 76. This is not a good top 6. The defense, though, I think you could make the argument this is the best in the entire league. So let's simulate up to the trade deadline. Hopefully Tyler Toffoli does the impossible and averages a goal per game and has 150 at the trade deadline. And then we can trade him away for Connor McDavid. Best case scenario. So I'm going to make this statement right now. This is going to be the last season of us being dead last in the entire league. A 6-56-4 record at the trade deadline isn't really too bad considering we don't have a bottom 6. The scoring on this team still isn't good and neither is the goaltending. But we all know that's about to change. We're going to fill out the rest of the team next season and then we'll be taking over the league. But I do have to give a shout to the top performers on this team because Wayne Gretzky, 89 points here at the 66 game mark. You have 52 goals, but you're only -8. -8 for him, -5 for Toffoli, and -5 for Lindstrom. Not gonna lie, I was not expecting this from you guys. Also, Jake DeBrusk, 43 points. It's actually not too bad. Antigua Ginla, last season you had like 5 points. Now you're up to a 76 overall with 30 points. That's called progression. That's something I love to see. Meanwhile, I'm not even looking at Kochetkov's numbers because I already know those are cooked. Okay, so as I'm looking at who's available here, there's one thing that needs to be noted. Tyler Toffoli technically has more value than Jake Ottinger. So I think you know where I'm going with this. So since the Dallas Stars are trying to get rid of the Otter, you might as well give me Wyatt Johnson in the process. Tyler Toffoli at 50% retained and Kochetkov. I'm offering this over to the Dallas Stars. I can't believe that just got accepted. We absolutely finessed those boys. So not only did we get Jake Ottinger, but we got a lot younger and picking up Wyatt Johnson. He's going to be massive for this team. I am very happy with what just happened there. So now that we've acquired Wyatt Johnson, it's time for us to give him a bag. And honestly, this is a pretty fair deal for him. We're doing 4.6 for the next 6. Playing top 6 minutes at that price, that's a steal. I'll definitely take it. On top of that, we also have to give the Otter a bag. What's he going to be looking for? This is absolutely fantastic. Why are you only asking for 7.5? I mean, I'm not going to give you 7.5. I'll give you 6.8, but even still, you should be asking for more money than that. So obviously, Halifax is going to be dead last in the entire league. We're a 10-win team this season, so there is that. The offense is slowly stepping it up in the goaltending. We're not going to talk about it. This is the last season of disappointment for the team. Gretzky, 117 points, 64 goals, 53 assists. You're proving that you're that guy, one of the best to ever play. And the goaltending numbers, the Otter, I'm really curious to see what you did since joining the team. A 903 and a 399. It's actually incredibly good considering what this team is. Once we improve this team more, he might have a 930 and a 210. Obviously, those are unrealistic expectations for him, but even still, the fact that he posted those numbers with this team, incredible. Shout out to the Minnesota Wild. They're winning the Stanley Cup here, but are we going to begin the first overall pick in back-to-back drafts? Hopefully we do. And if we get the first overall pick this time around, I'm not trading it under any circumstances. We got the second. We're just selecting whoever's available. We're not screwing this up. Yeah, that's just pain right there. We could have had 2 franchise potential players on this team, but I completely folded this. I mean, unless there's another franchise potential player right here, we could go with Gavin McKenna and just keep this simple. I kind of want to go with Gavin McKenna and keep this simple because then we know exactly what we're getting. This is the wrong decision. This right here is the wrong decision. This guy right here is going to have franchise potential. Okay, he's a 77 overall, medium elite. I actually like Gavin McKenna because he's a left winger. I think that makes a bit more sense for our team. So there was this one player that Buffalo drafted that I was considering picking up, but then I saw Peyton Krebs' contract and what he would provide to this team, so we're actually going to be picking him up instead. I guess a 3rd and 5th rounder is not going to be enough, but we'll just add some more into the deal. I feel like a 6th rounder will be the difference maker, so I'll throw that in as well, and we're adding Peyton Krebs to this team. He'll be a good player for the bottom 6. So now we have some contract extensions to give out, and this is when the big money is going to be spent here. Peyton Krebs, we're doing 4 years, actually 5 years. I'll do an 8-year deal with you just because the price is so good. 8 years at $2 million. I can't turn that deal down. Caden Lindstrom, you're probably going to be looking for a bag. Can we do 8 years with you? We actually can. I'm going to do 8 years at say 4.4 million. I like that contract for you as well, especially if you develop into a superstar player for us. Teague Ginla, we're giving you a long-term deal as well. What does 8 years look like for you? You want 3.1 million? How about we do 2.9? 2.9 for the next 8 years. It's an incredible contract as well. And then this defenseman right here, whose name I still haven't learned, will give you an 8-year deal as well. Your 8-year deal is going to be looking a bit more like this. We're going to do 3.2 for the next 8. So those are 3 long-term deals. It's actually 4 long-term deals at very reasonable cap hits. Stick on the ice legend Sam Bennett here, 6 years. I'm giving you 4.7 million. I'm paying you more than what you're asking for because this price is absolutely incredible. We know the type of player you turn into. This is a no-brainer. The next deal is going to be a bit less. We're doing Tyler Bertuzzi for the next 3 years. We'll do 3.5 million. I feel like that's a decent contract for him. We're actually going to do 3.4 million. I don't really know what he's going to provide to this team. All I know is he'll fit somewhere. On the first line, third line, we'll find somewhere for him. And then our final move, this one might not make a lot of sense. Christian Fischer, you have a perfect fit on our third line, so here's 3 years at 2.1 million. We have a ton of cap space to work with right now, 39 million, so I'm okay with overpaying on some certain guys. All right, so we're embracing the fact that we're going to be a great team this season. Kempe for our first round pick for this upcoming season. Maybe not this upcoming season. Maybe we should do it for next season to give ourselves a bit more time. You know what? We're standing on business here. Our first round pick this season for Kempe is not getting accepted by the LA Kings. I'm incredibly surprised at that. But here's a 3rd rounder as well. That should be more than enough to get Kempe. I'm offering that over. Y'all are really not accepting this deal right here. I'll take out the 3rd round pick and I'll do a 2nd instead. A 1st and 2nd. Okay, this team is bugging, but I don't care. We're getting Adrian Kempe on this team. A 1st, 2nd, and 3rd rounder. Okay, this is wild. A 1st, 2nd, and 3rd rounder is not enough. They need the 7th round pick. They need that lucrative 7th rounder. That's the difference maker. We got Kempe. That's a big step up for this team, but we're not done there. Another thing this team needs right now is a backup goaltender. We're picking this man up from the New York Rangers. He's a 78 overall at 24 years old. I mean, I can't really expect you to do too much, but for a 7th rounder, I'll take you on. So we do have to make another trade here because I didn't realize we're actually a bit short on right defenseman. So Chernak for Forsling, I think is actually a pretty smart move for both sides. They're going to be saying no, but we just have to throw some draft picks in the mix here. It's not going to take too much. So here's a 3rd rounder for the upcoming season, and this should be more than enough. Unfortunately, they're going to be saying no. That just means we have to add a 7th rounder, but we don't have a 7th, so here's a 6th round pick. Okay, this team's high-key going to be cooking. Gretzky, DeBrusk, Adrian Kempe, Bertuzzi, Wyatt Johnston, and then McKenna. This is a great top 6 here. The bottom 6 got a massive upgrade. The lowest overall being a 78. We've gone a long way since 0 overalls. The defense is absolutely unstoppable. We have the best defense in the entire league. There's no question about it. And the goaltending, we have one of the best in Jake Ottinger. I think there's a chance we finish top 5 this season. Maybe top 5 is a bit of a stretch, but top 10 is definitely possible. We have Wayne Gretzky and a great core here. Everyone's going to continue to get better. We're going to be a top team for sure. Now, I told y'all we were going to be one of the best teams in the entire league. Halifax is 6th with a 38, 23, and 4 record. This team's turned everything around. 3.23 goals per game. That's not necessarily that great, but this defense of 3.06, that's pretty solid. I mean, that's actually a lie. That's not that great either. The offense isn't good, neither is the defense. But the one good thing is this team's going to continue to get better because all the young guys are going to continue to improve. Yeah, just look at some of the numbers on this team. Like Gavin McKenna, only 29 points here. I know for a fact that he's going to improve next season. He'll probably be up to like an 85 overall. Wyatt Johnson, he's going to get some X factors. He'll be even better. Tyler Bertuzzi will be better. I mean, Sam Bennett probably won't be. He's going to be the exact same. But a lot of these guys, they're going to improve. And then the goaltending on this team, I already know Jake Ottinger's doing his thing. 32 wins, 3 shots, a 917 to 265. You never know. If he puts up numbers like this in the postseason, we might be able to surprise some teams and go on a bit of a run. So after taking a look at what's available here, I don't think we're going to make any trades because I don't really want to rush the process here. I want to allow the young guys to develop, but next season we'll definitely be making some moves. So we're just going to simulate the rest of the season with the exact same team, and honestly, we're probably a top 5 team in the league. And I don't think that. I know that. This team's going to close out the season strong, and we're going to finish as one of the best. Okay, so high key, we did not finish out the season strong here. We're 8th in the entire league with a 46-30-6 record. I think the offense is a bit better, 3.4 goals per game, but the defense, 3.3 allowed. We can't be having that happen to this team. Wayne Gretzky's posting incredible numbers once again, 62 goals and 49 assists for 111 points. Kempe 83 and Jake DeBrusk 81. I can't complain about these numbers. Basically, everyone else, y'all need to step it up here. Gavin McKenna, 43 points. Can't really complain about that. Wyatt Johnson, 66. I mean, that's a pretty solid season. But yeah, I'm really expecting a bit more from the bottom 9 here. Owen Power, minus 21. Okay, maybe we have to look at the defense here because minus 22, minus 21. This fourth line was terrible. Okay, yeah, we got to make some adjustments to the fourth line and first defensive pairing. How you guys were that bad, I have no clue. That actually makes zero sense. The Otters numbers are going to be dropping after the trade deadline, but that's not much of a surprise. A 907 and a 298. But man, Owen Power's numbers, that makes zero sense to me considering he should be the best defenseman on this team. But you know what? We're not going to worry about it right now. We're just going to go ahead and win a Stanley Cup here. We have the Buffalo Sabres in the first round. Owen Power's about to get his revenge. I think this team's going to surprise a lot of people. We're either going to surprise a lot of people or we're going to get absolutely smoked here in the first round. We did win game number 1, so that's definitely a win. And we won game number 3, so we split the series so far. Game 5 is going to be a big one. We're winning that one. And can we close this out in game 6? In our first ever postseason appearance, we're off to the second round. It's a great start for us. So we just proved that we can compete with the best in the league. The Buffalo Sabres were the number 1 seed and we're taking them out. We've moved on to the second round. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning. If we can get past Tampa Bay, then I think we have a pretty good shot at Stanley Cup. We're either taking on number 4 Toronto or number 3 New Jersey. But to be fair, if you've made it that far in the postseason, then you're a good team. Similar to the last series, we're taking game number 1 and game number 3. So we split the series so far. Game number 5, we got to be taking that one as well. And that's exactly what's happening here. Can we close out in game 6 once again? Yes, we can. And we moved on to the conference finals here. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs. We got to keep this momentum going. This team's absolutely rolling right now, and we're hoping that continues against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Unfortunately, that's not going to be happening. We're down 3-1 in the series. We have to have a big bounce back game here, but that's not going to be happening. We're going to be dropping 3 straight games, 3-1, and we're falling in the conference finals here. I will say though, for this Halifax team in their very first postseason, making it all the way to the conference finals and having Wayne Gretzky pick up 19 points in 17 games, I'll definitely take that as a win. As I've said a million times so far, the young guys are going to continue to get better and this team's just going to be in a better spot all around. So Colorado's going to take down the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup final to take it home. We know what this team's capable of now because we made it to the conference finals. We're going to make a few adjustments to the team, probably fix up the defense a little bit because there's no reason we should have been that bad defensively, and then we're going to go ahead and win Wayne Gretzky a Stanley Cup. Alright, so we already know how we make moves around here. We trade for prospects that got picked really high that have no trade value. This man right here, top 6 potential, but he's already an 80 overall at 18 years old. He was just selected 7th overall, so a 2nd, a 4th, and 5th rounders being sent over to Dallas in order to get him. I'm not surprised they're saying no here. We'll have to throw some more draft picks in the mix. Here's a future 4th rounder. I think that's going to be enough. Yes, it is. We basically have no draft picks for next season, but you know what? We got our 1st rounder, and that will be enough for us. So nothing happened during the re-sign phase, but we do have to give out some extensions. 6.6 for the next 4 is going to Cappy. And then one of these defensemen that we picked up a while ago, I don't even recall getting him, but he has low franchise potential now. We're going to be giving him 5.2 for the next 4 years. That's another fantastic deal. Locking both of these guys down semi-long term, definitely worth it. Alright, so we have $14 million to work with here, so we might as well just clean up the bottom 6 a little bit. Capo Caco will give you a 1-year deal at $4.2 million. And then Andrew Kopp, I'm pretty sure you can fit on our 3rd line here, so here's 6.4 for next season. Those are going to be the only signings we make here, and we're just going to run it back with this exact same team. Everyone's improved during the offseason, and we're definitely going to be a top 3 team. There's no question about it. Alright, so we saw this team take massive strides last season, and we finished as a top 10 team, but the entire core here got better. We literally have better fits across the board. Every player on this team is better, plain and simple. The defense, that's actually improved as well. I didn't think our defense would get any better, but it actually did. Everyone's improving across the board here, and Jake Ottinger's up to a 91, the best he's ever been. So plain and simple, literally everyone on this team got better, even guys like Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett improved 1 overall to an 87. Bro is 31 years old, but keeps getting better. It makes absolutely no sense that this team is as good as it is. But you know what? Since we're this good, let's get Wayne Gretzky a Stanley Cup. Alright, so this team is looking so good. I just had to get to the end of the season. We're second year with a 56-23-3 record. The only team better than us is the Edmonton Oilers. If we're seeing Edmonton in the playoffs, it's going to be in the Stanley Cup final. We're averaging almost 4 goals per game while allowing 2.8. Not only did our offense get way better, but so did our defense. Of course, the GOAT of all GOATs is leading the way. Wayne Gretzky, 59 goals, 56 assists for 115 points. Kempe, 93. What a great pickup that was. Jake DeBrusk, 91 points. Who would have thought? Because I certainly didn't. Owen Powers, 67 points here, plus 49. That's a big improvement from last season, plain and simple. This man was not playing up to expectations, but now he is. And Jake Ottinger, 48 wins, 4 shots, a 915 to 260. It's time for this team to finally win a Stanley Cup, and it's time for Wayne Gretzky to get one more in today's era. And to start off our postseason matchup, we're going to be seeing the Tampa Bay Lightning. We took this team out last postseason, and we're looking to do the exact same thing this time around. Nah, so we're really not messing around out here. We have a 3-1 series lead against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we're looking to close this out in 5 games. Unfortunately, that's not going to be happening, but I'm perfectly fine with that because I already know we're going to be winning in Game 6 here. A 4-2 victory, and we're off to the second round. Ain't no way the Edmonton Oilers just lost in the first round. You had a better record than the Halifax Pirates, but here you go, losing in the first round. That's a tough look for you. But you know what? We don't care about Edmonton because we're moving on here. We have the Buffalo Sabres to focus on for the second round. This team's going to put up a good fight against us. I can guarantee you that right now. Alright, so the Buffalo Sabres, I was really expecting you guys to put up a much bigger fight, but I guess you won't be. In 5 games, you're going to be moving on to the conference finals here. A 3-1 victory to close it out. Nah, real talk, the defense has actually been looking elite for this team. 1 goal allowed, 1 goal allowed. We're not going to talk about this game. A nice shutout here, and then 4 goals allowed here. I guess 4 goals isn't that great, but considering these 3 wins right here, we were actually really good defensively. Okay, real talk, there is no reason we should lose in the Stanley Cup final. We're the highest seeded team left. Columbus, they're okay, but we do have to remember they are a 40-win team right here, and the Winnipeg Jets and Colorado Avalanche, I don't know how both of these teams made to the conference finals, but they did. So if we can get past Columbus, then we should be taking home the Stanley Cup fairly easily. Then again, if you've made it this far, you're a pretty solid team. So here we go, Halifax versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. 2 great teams matching up against each other, but it looks like we're just a bit better, and we're going to be taking them down in 5 games. Make that 6 games, and we're off to the Stanley Cup final. We're taking on the Colorado Avalanche. We already know how this is going to go. It's time for us to take it home. So there's no point stopping here. We got all the momentum, and it's time to close this out. Are we going to be hoisting the Stanley Cup here? We have a 3-1 series lead, so it's basically guaranteed as long as we don't fold. And just like that, Wayne Gretzky is a Stanley Cup champion in today's era. We're taking Colorado down 6-3, and we actually had a pretty high scoring postseason. So Wayne Gretzky, I think he picked up a ton of points here. And when I said a high scoring postseason, I actually really wasn't expecting this from Gretzky, but 19 goals in 22 games here, 12 assists for 31 points. This man was absolutely dominating. Jake DeBrusk, who would have thought he would put up 22 points in 22 games? Kempe, 20 points here. He was fantastic as well. This entire team was great, but the Otter, I gotta know what you were up to. 16 wins, 3 shots, a 935 and a 206. Nah, this is absolutely ridiculous right here. Ain't no way you were putting up these type of numbers. Even when our backup had to come in for that one game, a 935 and a 250, that man was really holding it down in 48 minutes. So shout out to him, because he held it down that one game. I mean, he didn't win that game he played, but he still played alright. So of course, Wayne Gretzky, the GOAT among GOATs. And if you made it to the end of this video, comment Jake DeBrusk, because I still have no clue how this man developed into an 87 overall and was a top player for this team. Like, bro had 91 points. Who would have saw that one coming?